worst case scenarios on the front half of the season, back half of the season. We've gone over the offense. We've gone over the defense. So thus in your Texas Tech season predictions, your record prediction, and how you see this season playing out for Texas Tech in the first season of the Joey McGuire era.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little rough at first. I still got us going like 3-3 in that first half. Really tough first half, like we broke down a few weeks ago. But I got us kind of coming in stronger as the season grows. Schedule gets a little better for us also. And so I got us finishing at a total of 7-5. It is a really tough schedule, so I didn't want to go too far with it. And I was doing some analysis for this. Just looking quickly at like ESPN's little matchup predictor, we're only favored by them in 4 games. And one of those is the Houston game, 55-44, so that's basically still a 50-50 game. And the other 3 are pretty solid. And so it's not going to be easy. And some of these are going to have to be upsets like that. Iowa State, the West Virginia game, we're favored, but we better put them away coming off a bye, and they're on a down year. Like, we're underdogs at TCU. Like, even though we don't think very highly of their program in depth and quarterback and all that, but we got to prove it this year. It's a lot of prove it. I know you've said it a million times. Like, I just want to see us play better, play harder, and compete better.
Yeah.
And I think this coaching staff has definitely made that a point through practice and the guys they brought in, getting better on the offensive and defensive line to be able to last through games. And I think the coaching staff they brought in, like X's and O's wise, are a lot better, especially the head man, to make adjustments in game and just game planning. So we don't have 3 fronts all game and get ran off for 300 yards. So I think overall with the players, the mentality, the coaching philosophy, and the coaching styles will help us out later in the year, make those adjustments, and finish off strong. And so I got us at 7-5, man.
Yeah, I have us at 7-5 as well. I think it's a really, I mean, you look at the schedule, like you said, it starts off really, really tough. I mean, we broke down those 6 games, and you know, there's a chance that you could be 1-5 after the start of the season. Like, there's that possibility. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I think we're going to beat Houston. They don't scare me. We've talked about it before. Like, they actually got to step their game up and beat us once before I ever get scared of them. Texas at home, Quinn Ewers' first road game. Like, that gives me confidence that crowd's going to be crazy, especially if you're 2-1 and have a good showing against NC State there. So there is a possibility to be, sitting pretty after the first 4 games at 3-1. Who knows? But I like our home schedule. Having Texas, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Baylor all at home in conference play is nice. Those are tough games to play, and I think they give you a chance to maybe pull off a few more upsets this season than we have been able to pull off in the last few. But yeah, basically, I want us to see improvements throughout the season. I want to be able to see us play a game where we don't just get our ass handed to us in the first quarter and we lay down and quit. I want to see this team compete. They preach the brand a lot. If you watched any of those little videos that they posted this season, like, those get you hyped. And I believe in that process, and I just want to see it on the field. And I just want to see it like a week-to-week thing, that we're going to compete each week, each down, each, snap of the ball.
Hey, let me go in on that a little bit. And I hate to compare us to Baylor, but, that's where Coach McGuire is coming from for the last, 5 years.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen them, I don't know if they've been blown out hardly, but they haven't laid down over those last, I know they went like 2-9 a couple years ago, but I doubt they made it easy on anybody, and then came back last year and won the Big 12 championship. And so through 2 coaching changes and some staff turnover, Coach McGuire was still there, but that kind of philosophy they've held pretty true to from what I've just thinking about their last few years of games,
Yeah, I agree. And that's just what you want to see. You want to see a competitive football team. You want to see a team that's not at home getting its ass handed to you by TCU. You want to hang in with Texas more than the first down of the game. Like, these are things that I
Right.
want to see changed. And down to the fundamental coaching decisions. We'll long remember the many blunders of Matt Wells, who cost us games, who kick field goals on second down or pooched kick when you didn't need to, or doing a bunch of really questionable decisions. And so just removing that and hopefully having a coach who can put the players in the right situation, make the right play at the right time of game, not shoot yourself in the foot over and over and over again. And at the end of games, hopefully you have a chance to win them because of that. If anybody watched the Nebraska game, like a lot of people did, Scott Frost in Nebraska continues year and year to lose these close games, and they just, for some reason, he can't get his players in the right position to finish these games off. And you don't want to be that. You want to be the team that figures out how to win these close possession games. Hope Joey McGuire, Zach Kittley, Tim DeRuyter can put these guys in the right situations to make those changes. So I'm feeling pretty
on
confident.
that little bit that you mentioned, the coaches there. Coach McGuire in his pressers said, I'm going to let my two guys do their job. Like, Kittley's got the offense. He's calling all that. DeRuyter's got the defense. He's calling all that. I'm going to help with game management and subs and situational stuff.
Yeah.
And I really like hearing that just from a guy that hadn't coached yet, and I trust a lot already with that mentality. To one, trust his guys, and two, be able to manage the games better. When, we've had Wells who just, I don't know what he was doing. And then, Cliff and Leach, they were in the offensive huddle on the sidelines while our defensive coordinator is trying to hang on to his pants while we're getting 50 hung on us, So I like that mentality is let them do their jobs. And I hope those guys can, make adjustments also throughout games and throughout the year. If we're getting blown out, hey, I think Kittley's got the mentality. We can still come back if we're down by 20.
Right.
Our defense gets a turnover here. Let's go score. If we can get a kick, we can go score. I think we can hang on or come back in some games if we let those guys do their job and make adjustments.
Yeah, and that was one of the key things that we talked about a lot with RC and Keenan was their ability to adapt. Zach Kittley's ability to adapt each game. Maybe the run is what's working and let's ride this, or maybe the pass game's working. We got to ride this, or we got to make an adjustment here. Like Tim DeRuyter too, like being able to make changes depending on the game. Like that's going to be huge for us and something we haven't seen in a while. So
right.
I'm feeling pretty confident as well about a 7-5 season. Like you look at this schedule, if you can make it through that first half of the schedule, like you said, about 3-3, like down the stretch here, there's a lot more winnable games. And, who knows, maybe West Virginia ends up being a really solid team. Who knows about TCU? Maybe Baylor struggles. You're not real sure what the back half of that season is going to look like. I remember last year, like not really being worried about Baylor or Oklahoma State. And then at the end of the year, they're the last two teams on your schedule.
They're the best two teams.
So you never know how it's going to shake out. But Dustin, do you have any games that you're going to call as upsets here that Texas Tech gets the upset on?
It's my biggest upset, looking at my chart real quick, is at Iowa State. We haven't done so well there, especially since they got Matt Campbell. Also, something that was made aware to me that I didn't factor into this. It is a mid to late November game in Ames, Iowa.
Going to be cold.
That's not very favorable.
No.
All right. So I'll stick with my prediction though and roll with it. Anything else I have? I do have us kind of upset in Kansas State, and I'm high on them this year.
Okay.
I think they have a chance to be top 3 in this conference this year, especially with Deuce Vaughn and Adrian Martinez kind of changing that offense for him. And maybe he wasn't any good at Nebraska because of Scott Frost in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes back to his hype type Adrian Martinez and lights it up pretty well. But I just got us upsetting at Kansas State also.
Okay. So a couple road wins for you on your upsets. Mine are
Yeah.
opposite. Mine are homes. Mine are home wins because we're going to protect the Jones. I've got, of course, UT. Maybe our final shot at the Longhorns in Lubbock. I hope we make the most of it. Quinn Ewers, the first start on the road. If you're feeling pretty good about yourself after these first 3 games, I see it as a big possibility. No matter what, the crowd is going to be crazy for this game. It's going to be, even if you're 1-2 at this point, it's still going to be pretty crazy. Hopefully, you can knock off Texas. So, of course, I never want to pick Texas to beat us, but I think we can get the job done on them this season. And then I'm also going to pick a Baylor. I think we're going to beat Baylor. I think Baylor is going to struggle this year. They lost a lot from last year, and I still think they're going to be a good team. But we've talked about it before with them. They just have a really tough schedule this year where they have most of their tough games on the road. And so I think they're going to kind of fall back more to the middle of the pack. They haven't won in Lubbock in a long time. Now we know that we played them in Dallas, but still 32 years is a long time to not beat somebody at their home. I don't think they get that job done this season. So I think those are my 2 upsets. And hopefully we're able to protect home field. Like if you're able to do that, then you're maybe just losing to Oklahoma at home. And
I like that.
I'll take that in Joey McGuire's first year. It's something we haven't been able to do is win these games at home. And it's been super frustrating as people who love going to these games to not beat anybody you care about at the Jones. So